I think I'm ready.
Great.
Okay, cool. Yeah, fire away. We read over your questions and kind of discussed them, but like we're happy to answer anything on script, off script. Pick our brains. We're here for you. Maybe we should just all go around and introduce ourselves. Would probably be the easiest way to do it. I'm Jarrett Poole. You probably know me as CT over on Discord and Reddit and such, and I'm community manager on Dauntless. Y'all probably know me.
And I'm Eric Fagna. I'm the lead designer on Dauntless, and you probably know me as Proteus on Discord and Reddit.
I'm Jeff Moore. I am the product lead on Dauntless, and I'm known as Moosebaka in game. And I've been in Discord a little bit. It's going to be more and more as we get into the new year.
I wonder, especially with the introduction of the specific weapon board, if we could get weapon-specific top 5 cosmetics. I mainly think about the red crowns, what someone designed already a long time ago.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing those. The Trials reward store has gotten pretty stale. One thing we've wanted to do for a while is to add more kind of evergreen reward stuff you can just keep purchasing over and over. That's sort of like our solution to a lot of these currency problems. We want you to be able to just play Trials forever and always find like you have meaningful rewards. It's not as high on the priority list as some other items we want to tackle over the next few months. So I won't make any promises on timelines, but it's definitely something we want to take a look at some point next year.
It's a late next year at the earliest based on the stuff we want to focus on. But a reward like this, I think, is definitely something that would be in the ballpark when we do revisit it, because it's very scalable. And crowns as a whole is definitely something I think we want to do more exploration of, is delivering to players, because there's a lot of value in there and players seem to really enjoy it.
Like the potions, we can buy stuff forever, like keys, bounty tokens, which helps with the general hunt too, and leveling.
Yeah, I like the idea of adding bounty tokens in there. We have a bounty system update coming out shortly, actually, that's going to give you more ways of spending bounty tokens. So we've been thinking that to coincide with that, we could definitely give out more bounty tokens. That would be a good place to put it.
Same time, we want to provide. We're open to the idea of providing an avenue for players to get more bounty tokens as well, where they could spend trial marks to get bounty tokens, just as a way for players to be able to control more of like where do they want to spend their time inside of Dauntless overall.
If you draft a bronze bounty, you'll be able to spend 1 extra token to upgrade those to silver once. If you happen to draft a silver, you'll be able to spend 1 to upgrade to a gold. So just extra ways to spend your tokens.
Yep.
Yeah, I can actually speak to this a little bit. I really like the idea of like a challenge armor set. I've been working on the weekly quests that have been coming out and putting together basically kind of a climactic moment at the end, which is going to actually have, I guess let's talk about it, a Krolachi armor set that has 0 perks, 0 armor, and that is going to be rolled out for all players to unlock. And after that weekly quest is done, I think I'm just going to pop it in like a repeatable quest for everyone that can just pick it up if you missed it. And we're going to be keeping a close eye on like how the community engages with that. Like if we see like partners like yourself or people on Reddit being like, you won't believe what I did in the Krolachi set. Like I did a heroic escalation with no perks, no armor. Then maybe it'll like, we'll see how that goes and maybe we'll want to do more with it in that avenue. Because I think it's really cool. I'm excited to see what people do with it.
Yeah, Mastery is a fairly old system. I remember I worked personally on Mastery a lot. I think it was in 2019. Built that.
Different world.
And
I mean, Jared was still in kindergarten, I think.
Oh, baby. Couldn't even drink.
Yeah, and at the time we had lots of plans to expand Mastery. I think when it came out, the engagement with it, we felt like it wasn't quite hitting where we wanted it to. It wasn't that exciting of content to chase. The checkmarks, the types of objectives we've had. We later moved to sort of the Slayer's Path and the Reforged loop as a long tail progression. Doesn't mean we can't expand Mastery in the future, but I think we'd be more interested in expanding sort of some of the newer progression systems rather than focusing on Mastery at this time.
I could see some sort of space for like a celebratory token of some sort. But yeah, I hear what you're saying, because it is a big accomplishment. You kind of want to show your friends and your squad mates that like, yeah, we've done it.
Oh, this topic actually came up recently, when we were working on Savit, he was originally going to be a neutral element behemoth, and we moved away from that. At the time, we were really debating, okay, what is neutral all about? What is its identity in the game? And we felt like it didn't really have a strong identity. So we swapped him to Shock, and at that time we did a lot of discussions about what elements was supposed to be in our game. That's when the topic came up that maybe we should just remove neutral. We haven't made a call on that either way. In fact, just last week, Justin and I were talking about how we still have neutral weapons in the game, and one cool thing we could do, I think it was a community suggestion, is that we allow any legendary weapon to bond to not only their element but neutral weapons. That might give it a cool niche.
I always joke that we're going to add a neutral escalation, and the capstone boss will just be some dude.
Just like it's just a character who's just like, hello,
hi,
Hello there. NPC.
That's cool.
Because this is supposed to be the Urskar's sword, but that ended up with another model.
That's a very cool looking sword. I don't know.
Still viable and still cool, and could be used in the game, right?
Great exotic sword, right?
Yeah, I think there are assets that sit in the game in the builder that are either incomplete or for one reason or another don't meet our standard or expectation of what we either wanted from a fantasy standpoint at that juncture or a quality bar standpoint. And they're definitely a thing that we sort of circle back and talk to a lot of, like, oh, how could we bring this in? What would that look like? But at the moment, for that specific sword that you've posted here, we don't have any plans for it. And considering today Frostwolf came out, I don't think we're going to do a Frost Behemoth in the near future. So it'll probably stay where it is. But there is stuff that players have found before that is unreleased content that we've talked about how to utilize and bring back in, and maybe at some point in 2022 we'll bring those assets into the game through a series of features.
It will be possible to make double head cosmetic.
So we had it was funny when we went through these questions yesterday, just like breeze through, and we had Jordan, who works a lot on the content pipeline of things, and he was just taking notes of these suggestions and being that would be neat, that would be cool, putting it over there, and I don't know, what could we do? And this actually spawned a really good conversation about I don't think it would work within our current system, but maybe there's a world where you can unlock a head transmog that is the hat and the eye patch, and you can unlock another one that's just the eye patch, and another one's just the hat, or maybe it's in the character creator where you choose eye patches. There are opportunities there.
Well, we don't. Yeah, it would be in the character creator's eye patches. It would be in the character creator when you do the facial adjustments. We could change what the adjustments are, but I think the likelihood is actually that we would just make for the example, the hat you're posting, we would make a version that's just the hat. Make a version that's the hat and an eye patch. We make a version that's the hat and 2 eye patches, just for fun. And then you could swap between those different versions of those things, because that's easier for us to deploy. Right now, that character builder doesn't actually have the ability to swap, to add that sort of customization of a character asset. But we were talking about how we could make helmets that could change different things. And it's totally a possibility, especially with minor assets like that pirate thing. And in general, there's pirates are cool and players really like pirates, and we should probably do more pirate stuff at some point.
Almost like we're going to have a whole Huntpass season around pirates soon. The mixing and matching of dual wielding weapons is a pretty cool idea. It would have to.
So I actually talked to some people about this.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So I want to be very clear with your question, your captain. So are you asking to be able to dye your weapons different colors, or are you asking to be able to hold 2 different weapons as a dual blades user or chain blades user?
I prefer 2 different looking weapons.
Great, that is the better answer.
So if you have 2 transmog sets for a chain blade, you could have one transmog and then the other transmog.
Yes. Yeah. So the short answer is we can do this. It would be a significant amount of work, but it is possible within the current system, and it is something that we think we could do in the future. It would just it's a combination of some engineering and some tech design, but it's possible, and some UI within the game. And I'll be honest with you, it's a very tempting idea. I think for me, I really look at how much narrative in characters transmogs we could see players do, and I just sort of see the week we release this, tons of players would post amazing outfit choices, mixing different weapons and telling stories of what those weapons mean and so forth. That is awesome, and we could probably end up trying to do that.
Probably, maybe, no promises.
I asked people who have the skills to actually make this happen, and they're like, well, yeah, we could do this or this. And I was like, okay, all right, we should do that. To do this, the patch we would do it is we'd want to make a dual blades of some kind that probably is two different blades to show that you can do it. And then all of a sudden, do we set an expectation that players always expect that we're going to make two different dual blades or chain blades, which is not what we want to do, right? We want to make one chain blade for every armor set that you got to mix. But I would feel like that one time we'd want to make two chain blades to show off that you could do it differently. Not that that's a reason not to do it, but we'd want to solve that. Also, this is the chain blades animation now. This is the hand signal for chain blades. Eric has a lot of feelings about this.
This is something I've wanted to do for a really long time. It comes up constantly. We've tossed around a million ideas for how to do this. I don't know if we have like the solution right now. We have a bunch of cool ideas. I would love to tackle this at some point next year, and we'll have to see. Just today, actually, I was mocking up sort of a big diagram of all of our currencies in the game, and what doesn't have a sync, and how we could solve that. So yeah, it is on my mind constantly, and we'll see.
So I guess we're not gonna get any update on this in the next half a year. It's
nothing's currently planned, but I know that Eric is always putting together new pitches for how we should approach this, and the last two he sent were very tempting.
We'll see. We've talked about legendary armor for a long time. Whether we can find a cool way to add that into the game. Obviously, it can't be prismatics, or otherwise, why have any armor when all of your armor can equip any cell? We've wanted to get rid of, a lot of the immunity cells for a long time, warmth and shell shock resist, and all those minor perks that no one really uses, and maybe bake that into set bonuses. We've talked about minor perks, adding sort of another layer of, these are cool little bonuses you can add, and those come on as set bonuses. It wouldn't be a ton of work to do this, so it's just a matter of the opportunity when we have time to do it.
Jeff's face when you said not a ton of work. It's like,
yeah. Let's not. Designers don't decide how much work something is. Let's be very clear.
Experimental is getting it out early enough that we can action on the feedback before the release date. So it's like getting it to a point that we can actually be representative of the product, but still early enough that we can change it. It's like a really, really fine point where we can get in there.
Yeah, and there's obviously more effort on our part to do an experimental one because it's a wider player base. It's not NDA'd, and it's just everything's more open. So we there's a little bit more due diligence on our part to get that set up, but definitely want to keep using that. We get so much value from it. So much great feedback comes from those things. So.
The other designer who's going to come today, Justin, he is very active in the Discord after experimentals and has done a lot. He goes into a lot more back and forth conversation and so forth. And Reddit's a tough place to have those back and forth really quickly because people post much more asynchronously. And for us, we've had the most success with those who engage on Discord around that because you can just get a much faster back and forth in dialogue.
Yeah. On that note, I'd love to do more of these because this is actually really nice to sit down and talk and not do the weird back and forth sentencing where things it's just a nice format. I like this.
The moderators on the social stuff could design their very own hats or cosmetics, and I wonder if the partners could do the same, design something.
That'd be fun. I'd love to explore that in the new year and see what that looks like. I had a great time hanging out for full transparency with our moderators on Discord and some of the Reddit ones, figuring out what a moderator helmet would look like and working with the concept artist. Super fun time. Love doing it. I'd love to get something set up like that with the partners. It's a ask of when we have the bandwidth of an artist, a 3D modeler, and probably a few other people in there to get it done. There was also
watching you produce is really entertaining.
I did it all myself. But there was also a lot of questions in there too of like maybe it should have been a crown, because some of the partners, while we all work together on it, they're like, I don't even wear helmets, or it doesn't work with this outfit, or like it's
Mhm.
like like because at first I was like, did you want a weapon? But not everyone uses the same weapons, and then like so like maybe it should have been a crown that floats above your head, because then everyone can have it on. But like we can talk about this in the partner Discord too. And then I'm happy
the
get
other
into
one
it.
that I was talking about earlier today with another designer on the product was actually with the new armor for Frostfall that's out today. It has the footprint effects, and so one of the ones is, what if we made it so that you had footprints? That was the partner symbol. You just see your crossed swords, or what symbol we would work on with every partner that would make sort of sense.
Yeah, poke me in 2022. Like we're all a bunch of us are about to go on vacation, so I'll be around for a bit. But like I do really want to work on something for the partners to have.
It would be lovely. I want to support more of it for sure.
So thank you guys for joining and having the opportunity to make this interview. And yeah.
No problem. I'm excited to see it all edited up and out on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
That was great.
It's going to be a good time.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot,
Thank
Captain,
you guys.
for doing this.
Have a good
All right.
meeting.
Later, everybody.
Or something.
See ya.
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye.
All right. See ya.
How much work would it be to release Skyfishing and Bow in the next 3 months?
Things are easy.